When the apocalypse hit, I was the only one who made it. I'm hiding out in this cave, completely stocked with supplies. But it all started with a dream. Help! Somebody help me! No! I screamed, gasping for air. I just had this incredibly long dream. In the dream, on my way to work today, I get hit by a motorcycle. So I message my boss, "Hey, I got in an accident, gotta take the week off." I use the time off to order a ton of takeout and just rest at home. But while I'm laid up, the zombie crisis hits. I managed to survive the first wave, but eventually, I ran out of food. I had to go scavenging for supplies, and I didn't make it. I was torn apart by them. The dream felt so real. Even now, wide awake, every single detail is crystal clear. Before I can even think about it, the train stops. This is my station. I follow the crowd, get off the train, and start walking to my office. I get to the crosswalk I take every day. The light turns green. I'm just about to step off the curb when I suddenly get this horrible feeling. I pull my foot back, and in that exact second, a motorcycle rips right past me, exactly where I would have been. If I had taken that step, I'd be on the ground right now. But the worst part, the motorcycle, the color, the model, it was identical to the one in my dream. So, that hellscape, it wasn't just a dream. It's the future. It's what's going to happen. Or, does this mean I've been sent back? Am I reliving this? Okay, I have to force myself to calm down. First things first, call out of work. If I'm wrong and this whole apocalypse thing is fake, I can just go back to my job next week. No big deal. As soon as I get home, I grab a pen and paper and write down every single detail I can remember from the dream.
According to the timeline, June 5th, patient 0 appears. June 10th, cases start to multiply. It's classified as a new infectious disease. The government issues public health warnings. July, the containment measures fail. It becomes uncontrollable. The streets are full of the infected. All uninjured survivors with normal body temps are moved to official government shelters. But just when everyone thinks they're finally safe, on August 20th, an official announcement shatters everyone's hope. The source of the virus was a strange fog released from a deep-sea earthquake months ago. And the worst part? It's not just transmitted through fluids, it's airborne. That means before anyone even knew what was happening, the virus had already silently infected countless people. I stare at my notes. It's been over an hour. Aside from the key dates, the most useful piece of information is that August 20th announcement. It didn't just name the source and transmission, it also released a research finding. It said that taking a combination of Claritin and Xanax could prevent airborne infection, but it does nothing against fluid transmission like a bite. And that's why I survived the first wave. Because of my anxiety, I already take those two medications regularly. I write down the most critical info on a separate sheet. My first instinct is to find a way to secretly get this to the government, but it's already been 20 days since that deep-sea fog was released. The virus is already everywhere. Anyone who's going to be infected is already infected. And those meds can only prevent, they can't cure. So, in a world I can't save, I have to focus on saving myself. It's almost noon. I open a food delivery app and quickly order some beef noodle soup and 2 bubble teas. While I wait, I need to do one last test to confirm if this memory, this rebirth, is 100% real. At 12:05 p.m. exactly, my phone buzzes. A push notification. I click on it. The internet is blowing up. It's all about a famous celebrity and a director having a secret marriage and a kid. It's the exact same news story from my dream. My last sliver of hope is gone. The apocalypse is really coming.
Today is June 1st. The widespread panic, the real infection, that won't start until July. That means I have 1 month. 1 month to buy everything I need to survive. But my apartment is useless.
It's too small, and I know from my dream that the water and power will be the first things to go. Then, it hit me. I remembered the perfect shelter. At the foot of the mountain by my grandpa's old house, there's an abandoned shrine, and behind it, a cave. It's huge, and at the very bottom, there's a flowing underground river. Years ago, to stop kids from getting lost, my grandpa, who was the village chief, installed a massive iron gate at the entrance. The key is still in his old house. It's the perfect choice. It's hidden, and it has its own water source. I desperately want to go there and lock myself in right now. But first, I need money. After 3 years of working, my savings are only about $12,000. That's not nearly enough to stock up for an apocalypse. Luckily, this apartment is in my name. I immediately call every real estate agent I can find. I tell them the same thing. I'll sell for 20% below market price, but I have one condition. I need the full payment in cash by tomorrow. With a 20% discount, it's a guaranteed profit. They all jump at the offer. I pick an agent with a good reputation, and we agree to sign the papers tomorrow morning. Next, I download every loan app on my phone and max out every single one. With some time to spare in the afternoon, I head to the pharmacy. I start buying anti-infection medicine. To avoid suspicion, I only buy a few bottles at each store. I'll have to do this over the next few days. On the way home, I grab a whole roast duck. This might be my last good meal for a long, long time. I eat while planning my next move. Tomorrow, sell the house, get the money, and then drive straight to Grandpa's. I have to see that cave for myself. I can't relax until I know it's secure. After dinner, I start online shopping. Games, novels, movies, music, and every survival guide I can find. I have them all saved onto USB drives and shipped to a delivery locker near my grandpa's village. The next morning, I grab my documents and head out. The sale goes smoothly. I look at the new balance, $75,000 from the sale. Plus my savings and the loans, I now have a total of $100,000. Okay, this has to be enough. That afternoon, I take a taxi to Grandpa's. I unlock the dusty old house, grab the key, and walk straight to the shrine. It's totally run down. I walk around the back, and there it is. A massive, heavy iron gate built right into the side of the mountain. I unlock the gate and step inside. It's huge. The ground is flat, and there are little alcoves carved into the walls. And even on this scorching hot day, it's cool, like it's air-conditioned. But most importantly, from deep inside, I can hear the sound of water. I follow the sound, and there it is, an underground river. It's exactly like I remembered. With this, I have unlimited drinking water. I can even install a small hydroelectric generator and hook it up to a battery bank. It'll be enough to power everything I need. This isn't just a shelter, it's perfect. Satisfied, I head back to the city. Now, the real work begins. I have 1 month to stock up on a lifetime of supplies. I knew I'd be hauling a ton of supplies, so my first stop was a used car lot. For about $500, I bought an old hybrid van. This was strategic. Even if I run out of gas, as long as my hydro generator in the cave is running, I'll have a constant source of electricity to recharge the battery. Before I left, I casually asked the dealer,
Hey, weird question, but do you know where I could get my hands on some gas barrels?
He got suspicious.
A young girl like you? What do you need that much gas for?
I had a lie ready.
Oh, my friends and I are planning a long road trip, way up into the mountains. The refueling stations are scarce, so we just want to be prepared.
He smirked.
Ah, with your boyfriend, right? Smart girl.
He gave me a business card.
Call this number if you really need to stock up. Tell him I sent you.
I got home at 8 p.m. The real estate agent gave me a 3-day deadline to move out. After that, I have to hand over the keys. No sleep for me. I had to pack. Only the essentials. The cave entrance is small, so big furniture won't fit. I just packed my clothes, bedding, and some basic kitchen supplies. By 1:30 a.m., I had 4 suitcases packed, ready to go. The next morning, I dropped the bags at the cave. Then I went to check out a warehouse in the suburbs. I'm about to order tons of stuff and I need a delivery address. The cave's location is a secret I have to protect. So the plan is deliver everything to the warehouse, then use my van to slowly move it to the cave, bit by bit. I rented a unit for about $400 a month. As soon as I got the key, I drove right back to the city. It was almost noon. I drove straight to my favorite hot pot place. I didn't hold back. I ordered everything. Lamb, beef, duck blood, tofu. This might be the last real restaurant meal I ever have. I was going to enjoy every bite. While I ate, I finalized my shopping list. Priority 1, power. After comparing models, I ordered 2 1500-watt mini hydro generators, 4 large battery banks, and a few solar panels. I also ordered a huge variety of fruit and vegetable seeds online. After placing the online orders, I drove to the wholesale farmers market. I used the buying supplies for a corporate retreat excuse. I ordered 600 bags of rice, 200 bags of flour, and 500 pounds each of soybeans, green beans, and corn. Then, 100 5-liter jugs each of peanut oil and cooking oil. The total came to over $16,000. I paid and arranged for it all to be delivered to my warehouse in 3 days. Next stop, the garden center. Grains aren't enough. My plan is to build an indoor garden on the cave floor so I can have fresh vegetables. The owner recommended large, deep planter boxes, plus dozens of bags of nutrient-rich soil and fertilizer. I had them added to the warehouse delivery. I got home completely exhausted. I started scrolling through the news, digging deep. Finally, at the bottom of the feed, I found it. The article from my dream. Incident report. Rabid patient in our country. The article was short, just mentioning a patient with extreme violent aggression. It looked like a totally random, weird news story, but I knew this rabid patient, this was patient 0. Our country is the closest island to the Mariana Trench. The virus is going to radiate from there, and it's going to be fast. I shut my phone off. I couldn't let it distract me. I still have way too much to do.
My timeline was wrong. The dream said patient 0 would appear on June 5th, but they were already here. That morning, I drove to the electronics superstore. I already had the generators, but now I needed the appliances. First, the freezers. After a lot of thought, I ordered 7 small, energy-efficient chest freezers. This kind uses very little power. With my hydro generators, I can easily run all of them. Next, I went to the small appliance section. I bought 3 of everything. Rice cookers, electric kettles, you name it. If one breaks, I'll have backups. I had everything shipped to the warehouse. Then, I hit the computer section. I bought 2 high-end gaming laptops and had the store load them with every popular offline game they had. I mean, I'm going to be alone in that cave for a long time. I need something to do. Finally, I bought a few drones. They'll be perfect for scouting the outside world without me having to leave the cave. With my electronics haul finished, I was about to head home when I heard a scream from the end of the hall. I saw a man on top of a woman tearing at her. I could see his face clearly. His skin was a dark, purplish black, and his pupils were milky white. Luckily, a security guard was nearby. He ran over and tackled the man, pinning him to the ground. I just stared. My hands, I couldn't stop them from shaking. I forced myself to pull out my phone and call 911, but I didn't wait for the cops. I ran. I just got out of the mall as fast as I could. That man, that was an infected. That was a zombie in my city. The timeline wasn't just off by a few days. It was now. I have to move into the cave immediately. Thankfully, most of my supplies were already ordered. My last few packages are scheduled to arrive at the warehouse in the next 2 days. I drove straight to the warehouse and started moving everything. Trip after trip, hauling everything to the cave. Thank God I rented that forklift. There's no way I could have moved all these pallets by myself. After a whole day of work, it was almost done. I was so exhausted I could barely stand, but I couldn't rest. Not yet. I have to get the power on. I wheeled the generators and the voltage regulator to the river's edge. I pulled out the instruction manual and just started building. When I got stuck, I called the 24/7 customer service line. After hours of fumbling in the dark, I finally got them installed in the fastest part of the current. I watched as the blades started to turn. The indicator lights, they started to flash. I could have cried. I grabbed the power strip, connected it to the regulator, and, holding my breath, I flipped the switch. The little green light turned on. It worked. It worked! My biggest worry, my power, was solved. After the excitement wore off, I started to think. The last few packages will be delivered to the warehouse soon, so I don't need to guard it anymore. If I'm right,
The infections will start popping up everywhere in the next few weeks. The city will fall. I still have a few days to get the last missing pieces. The garden center called. My planter boxes were in. I realized I'd been awake for over 24 hours. For the next few days, I moved the rest of the supplies, ordered tons of instant noodles and canned goods for next day delivery, and went to the market one last time. I bought 150 pounds of beef, 150 pounds of lamb, 100 pounds of pork loin, 100 pounds of pork belly, and 100 pounds of chicken breast, and hauled it all to my new freezers. The next few days, the streets got quieter. More shops were closed, fewer cars, but the sound of police sirens and ambulances, that got louder. It was the calm before the storm.
I left the last pharmacy on my list, ready to hit the next stop. This was it, my final day for supply runs. I had to make it count. Driving through the city, the tension was obvious. More police cars, more ambulances. The infected were spreading. I still had some cash left, but I knew one wrong move, one bite, and all this preparation, everything would be for nothing. I was lost in thought when suddenly someone just appeared in the middle of the road.
Are you crazy? Get out of the way!
But as the person looked up, I saw he was just a teenager, and he was holding a little girl. I stayed in the van, my hand on the door lock. I carefully scanned both of them, looking for any sign of a scratch or a bite.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking. Please, can you spare some money? My sister, she's really sick.
The girl in his arms was pale, her face flushed red.
Where are your parents?
They're both at the hospital. I'm not a liar, I swear. They just left in a hurry and they didn't leave any money. I'll pay you back as soon as they're back, I promise.
Just then, the little girl stirred, and her arm moved. My heart stopped. On her forearm was a wound, a clear bite mark. She'd been bitten. But that's impossible. From my dream, I knew. A normal person turns within 24 hours. Looking at that wound, it wasn't fresh. It looked days old, and she hadn't turned.
My sister isn't sick. Okay? Trust me, she's not one of them.
Hey, is your sister immune?
I said slowly.
Just then, the girl's eyes fluttered open. She whispered,
Brother, just go home. Yao Yao, Yao Yao, can go to the hospital by herself.
That broke me.
Don't move, just stay right there.
I got out of the van, grabbed the emergency bag from the back and some cash. I gave it to him.
Listen to me very carefully. Do not go home. Take this money, find a remote place to rent, and stock up on as much food as you can. Don't talk to anyone.
I pointed to the bag.
There's medicine in there. Your sister, she might be immune. Give her the antibiotics and the fever reducer for the wound. There are also 2 other kinds of pills. Those are for both of you. Take them every single day. Do you understand? One last thing. Soon you'll hear about official shelters. Do not go. They aren't safe. Got it?
He nodded, his eyes wide.
Got it. Wait! Miss, can you at least tell me your name?
I didn't answer. I just waved and drove away. I hope I gave them a fighting chance. I guess that was my last goodbye to the world as we knew it. One last stop. The cave is soundproof. I need a renewable food source. I need chickens. I drove to a small farm in the suburbs I had called earlier.
You, Miss Peach?
That's the fake name I gave him.
Yep. Your order is ready. 5 chickens, 10 fertilized eggs, feed, and medicine. The cage is all set. The balance is $9,000.
After loading the car, I drove back to the shrine. It was time to seal myself in. First, the van. I parked it in a hidden spot off the trail. Then I camouflaged it. Scratched the paint, threw some dirt on it, made it look like a worthless piece of junk. After a few minutes, it looked completely different from the van I drove in. I did one last check of the area around the shrine, then went back into the cave. It was an absolute mess. The cave is huge with several distinct rooms, but I'd just been dumping boxes everywhere. There was barely any room to walk. Okay, first things first. Today, I'm finally going to set up my main living space. With the door sealed, it was time to make this cave a home. First, the bedroom. I picked one of the driest, best ventilated alcoves. I assembled the bed frame I bought, put down the mattress, and made the bed with fresh sheets. Finally, a cozy, warm place to sleep. Next, I chose a large, flat area for my garden and chicken coop. I poured out the nutrient soil into the planter boxes I ordered and set up the coop for the chickens. Finally, I hung the grow lights I bought on the cave wall. The area near the cave entrance, with the small hole in the ceiling,
became my kitchen and living room. It's where I'll cook, eat, and spend most of my time. To keep bugs away, I sprayed insecticide around all the main areas. One evening, while eating dinner and scrolling through the news, I realized how fast things were falling apart. It had only been a few days since I sealed myself in. The headlines were terrifying. City under lockdown. Hospitals converted to quarantine zones. Infection rate exploding. Government urges public, do not go outside. It wasn't just advice anymore. They had imposed strict martial law. No one was allowed out without permission. They also announced that the newly built infectious disease hospital was being repurposed as a quarantine base due to the sheer number of infected, and they were expanding it further. The internet was flooded with rumors and misinformation. It was impossible to tell what was real anymore. After eating, I went back to organizing my supplies. As I was moving boxes, I noticed something, a crack in the cave wall. I walked over. It was narrow, but I could see outside. The crack was high up on the cliff face. No one could possibly climb up here, let alone notice it. It was the perfect little peephole to the outside world. Still, just to be safe, I loosely plugged it with mud and small stones. I could easily remove it whenever I needed to observe. Time passed. My days fell into a routine, tending my small garden, feeding the chickens. Before I knew it, it was August. A lot happened while I was adjusting to my new life. Many countries had completely collapsed. Society dissolved. It was every man for himself out there. Only my country, H Nation, and a few others were still holding on. I checked the news every day. I could still find videos, horrifying videos, of infected swarming malls and supermarkets, large hordes roaming the streets, and any living thing they found, they attacked. Suddenly, I heard something, a faint scream from outside the cave, followed by sounds of a struggle. My heart pounded. No one lives near here. Why would there be fighting? I ran to the crack in the wall and quickly dug away the mud plug. I peered through and saw them. Outside, not far from the cave entrance, were two figures lying on the ground. One was filthy, limbs twisted unnaturally, groaning and twitching as it tried to crawl towards the other figure. The second figure was holding an axe, but there was a wound on his neck. Just as I thought he was dead, his body started convulsing violently. Then, slowly, stiffly, he got back up. He turned too. Ever since those two neighbors showed up, I started watching more closely. I used my drone to check the village down the mountain. Even there, I could see figures shambling through the empty streets. It wasn't just the cities anymore. Even remote places like this weren't safe. Nowhere was safe. August 20th, the day from my dream. I knew this day was coming, but my hands were still shaking. I opened my phone to check the latest notifications. Almost every app, every government service pushed the same message. Official notice, H Nation government dissolved. The notice stated that effective immediately, the government was disbanding. All social institutions would cease operations. All public employees were dismissed. It repeated the findings about the virus source, the airborne transmission, the details about the two preventative medications, and the estimated immunity rate, less than 1 in 1,000. There was one final attachment, a joint statement from the power, water, and telecom companies. To all residents of H Nation, all billing systems have been shut down. Public utilities will enter an unmanned maintenance state until systems naturally collapse. Humanity had entered the apocalypse. In a world now ruled by the virus, all we could do was survive. I read the notices silently. From now on, there would be no more official news, no more government. I was completely on my own.
I never expected anyone to find this place, especially not him. I was feeding the chickens when I heard the fighting outside again. I ran to the peephole and saw a man backed up against a jeep, surrounded by a dozen zombies. He was fully geared up, gas mask and all. His car must have broken down, forcing him to flee on foot. I watched him fight. He was skilled, precise, taking down the zombies one by one with a longsword. But after a while, he was clearly getting exhausted. He started backing up, fighting as he retreated, right towards the shrine. Oh no. If he keeps coming this way, he might find the cave entrance. He might discover my secret. Suddenly, one of the zombies lunged, knocking off his helmet. He quickly recovered, dispatching the attacker with a swift strike. But now, I could see his face. It was Leo, my boss. He was always a decent guy, paid bonuses, treated us well. Before the apocalypse, when I tried to take that week off, HR gave me trouble. He stepped in, approved my leave, and even gave me a month's salary in advance. He told me to let him know if I needed anything. When I first graduated, his company was the first to accept my application. That's why I stayed in this city. If it was a stranger out there, I could just watch, do nothing. But seeing him, seeing a genuinely good person about to die, while I just stood by, could I live with that? As I hesitated, I saw him falter. He was stumbling, getting overwhelmed. Okay, I have to help.
Leo! Head this way! Behind the shrine!
He looked startled, confused, almost got bitten. He swung his sword, clearing a path, and started running towards the shrine. I grabbed my gas mask and my own sword. I ran to the entrance, unlocked the heavy iron gate as fast as I could.
Leo! Over here!
He finished off the last 2 zombies right at the gate and stumbled inside. I slammed the gate shut, bolting it, and shoved heavy boxes filled with rocks against it for good measure. He leaned against the wall, panting, watching the gate shudder as the zombies outside pounded on it.
Don't worry, they can't break through that.
Okay, good.
Sorry, but I have to ensure my own safety first.
That's understandable. Whatever you need me to do, I'll cooperate.
I took out the rope I had ready and tied him up securely. I did a quick pat down, checking for weapons or bites. Then, I removed his mask.
Ahsoka? Is that you? You're here?
Yeah, it's me.
Wow, I never expected to see you here.
I don't know why you're here either. And just to be safe, you'll need to stay tied up for a while.
Okay.
I led him deeper into the cave, to the area near the underground river, and tied him temporarily to a rock pillar.
Ahsoka, thank you. You saved my life back there. If it wasn't for you...
I just nodded, staying silent. He then told me everything, holding nothing back. He was on a mission from his base. His objective? Rescue several expert scientists from an institute in the neighboring city. These scientists had managed to contact Leo's base. They hadn't evacuated because they were trying to protect valuable, irreplaceable lab equipment. They chose to hold out in their research institute instead. When their supplies ran out, they had to call for help. So the base immediately dispatched a special ops team, including Leo, to rescue the scientists and their equipment.
Your base wouldn't happen to be Spark Base, would it?
You know about Spark Base?
I have a small radio. Been picking up their broadcasts. Wait, didn't you build Spark Base?
Well, not just me. I co-founded it with a few friends.
That made sense. But
Hold on. If you were on a rescue mission, why are you alone now?
We were ambushed on the way out of the city. Thankfully, the rest of the team already had the scientists and the research data. They got away first. I stayed behind as rear guard with the base leader and a few others to buy them time. I didn't think...
he trailed off, looking down. It was obvious. His team didn't make it.
Sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
It's okay. In times like these, sacrifices are inevitable. If humanity ever makes a comeback, they'll be remembered.
From Leo, I learned something crucial. A few days ago, the ground-based signal towers were destroyed, but the satellites are still working. That means people can still use satellite phones. A sat phone. That's a rare commodity now. Over the next 2 days, I learned a lot about the outside world from him. And as time passed, I was able to rule out the possibility that he was infected.
Sorry about tying you up for a few days. This cave is my last resort. I have to protect it, no matter who it is.
Don't worry. I'll never tell anyone your secret.
So, what's your plan? Are you going to try and get back to your base?
I had a sat phone in my Jeep, but I couldn't grab it in time. If it's convenient, I'd like to try and go back for it. If I can get that, I can contact the base for extraction.
The Jeep was still a ways from the cave, and with those zombies still wandering around, it was too dangerous for him to go alone. After talking it over, we made a plan. Leo would go out to retrieve the phone, and I would wait at the cave entrance to cover him. I gave him the electric chainsaw I'd bought. He put on his gas mask and headed out. The horde from a few days ago had mostly scattered, so the path was relatively clear. He moved quickly, sticking to the safest route. He only ran into 2 stragglers near the Jeep and took them down easily. He grabbed the sat phone and a backpack I hadn't seen before and headed back.
I was waiting at the gate, ready to open it.
Ahsoka! Watch your right!
I looked down. A zombie's hand was clawing at me from the gap under the gate. I instantly revved the chainsaw and sliced the arm off. Just then, Leo made it to the entrance, finished off the zombie at the gate, and scrambled inside. I slammed the gate shut.
Did you get the phone?
Of course he did. He immediately started walking around the cave, holding the sat phone up, trying to find a signal. After a few minutes of searching, he stood near the peephole and got a bar.
Success!
He immediately dialed Spark Base. It rang twice and connected.
Hello? John? It's me, Leo.
Leo, you're finally calling. We were so worried.
I ran into some trouble, but I'm fine now. But my engine's dead. I can't drive. I need you to send a team to pick me up.
On it. We'll leave right now. Give me your coordinates.
To protect my location, Leo gave him coordinates for a spot a safe distance away from the shrine. The next morning, after Leo packed his bag, I sent out my drone. This is a drone shot, showing 2 jeeps pulling up to a safe spot in the village below.
There. Looks like your ride is here.
Leo put on his mask and picked up his weapons. Then he handed the sat phone back to me.
Here, you keep this. If you're ever in danger, contact me. I'll help you.
Thanks. Be safe.
And with that, he left. And so I returned to my quiet life in the cave. Time flew by, and suddenly it was October. Between the constant rain and the hot sun, I noticed the zombies outside were decomposing. The one I saw yesterday had its leg bone exposed, and as it was dragging itself along, it just collapsed, and it didn't get back up. My life, on the other hand, was peaceful. Raising chickens, gardening, reading, playing games. It was almost tranquil. That day, just like any other, I was carrying my breakfast to the table when I felt a tremor under my feet. The whole cave shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. My shelves, my table, everything was rattling. I felt dizzy, unstable. An earthquake. It was an earthquake. Just when I thought I could finally survive in this cave, the earthquake hit. The second I realized what was happening, I didn't think. I grabbed my emergency go bag from the living room and ran straight for the storage room. It's the most secure part of the cave, filled with supplies. But more importantly, the satellite phone Leo and left me is in there. It's the only place I can get a signal. If the worst happens, if the cave collapses, I can call for help. After a long minute, the shaking seemed to stop. I waited, holding my breath, to make sure there were no aftershocks, then carefully stepped out. First priority, check the garden. The chickens, they seemed completely unfazed, like nothing had happened. The living room was okay, just a few pots and pans knocked over. But when I looked up, the protective netting over the ceiling vent had been warped by the quake. It was hanging, about to fall. No time to rest. I grabbed my drill, got on the ladder, and re-secured the entire thing. Luckily, the quake wasn't that strong. The cave itself held up. I wonder what happened to the survivors in the high-rises. Just then, the sat phone rang. I ran to pick it up. It was Leo.
Ahsoka! The earthquake! How are you?
I'm okay. Don't worry. The cave held up. It's strong. Just a few of the nets got shaken loose, but I've already fixed them.
Good. That's good. I actually have some good news for you. Remember the scientists we rescued? They've had a major breakthrough with the vaccine.
He told me that the vaccine, it's not a cure, but it works. Getting injected gives you antibodies. Even if you're attacked by a zombie, there's a very high chance you won't turn. He said it won't be long before they can work with other bases, set up a production line. Humanity, we finally have a little hope. After I hung up, life settled down. December came and it got cold, colder than last year. I pulled out my electric blanket and space heater. The winter water level was low, so the hydro generators weren't at full power, but it was so cold I didn't need the freezers anymore. There was just enough power to run the heaters. I even put one in the garden area to keep the chickens warm. February, the second year. I made some New Year's decorations, cooked a big meal for myself. I spent a lonely, but warm, New Year's Eve. September. It was supposed to be autumn, but the temperature was still way too high. Before I knew it, I'd been living in the cave for over a year. Then, one morning, the sky went dark. A massive storm rolled in. I thought it would pass, but it rained and rained for days. The underground river, it was always so clear. Now, it was a murky, disgusting yellow. And the smell. I couldn't use the water directly anymore. I had to haul it, let it settle, filter it twice, and then boil it just to have something safe to drink.
A few days later, the rain finally stopped, but before I could even feel relieved, I felt it, a familiar tremor, deep in the earth. I knew it instantly, another earthquake. And this one was so much stronger. I tried to run for the storage room, but I couldn't even stand. I took one step and fell. And that's when I heard it, the sound of the cave ceiling cracking. I scrambled under the table as dust and rocks started to fall. I just watched in agony as my shelter, my home, collapsed. The zombies, they broke in. They were on me. No! I screamed and woke up. I was in my bed, dripping in cold sweat, my hands, my legs, shaking uncontrollably. I had another nightmare. The last nightmare I had. It was a premonition. It showed me the future. Does this mean this is what's going to happen? The cave. This is my last refuge. That nightmare. Whether it was just a dream or a premonition of the future, I can't afford to lose. I have to prepare for the earthquake from the dream. I remember the details perfectly. The living room was completely destroyed, but the storage room, the room I'm in now, it just had a few cracks in the wall. The other rooms, I don't know what happened to them. But if the storage room is safe and my supplies are safe, then I'll take that bet. If I'm right, I live. I came up with a new plan. I'll haul the big rocks from the cave entrance and use them to build support pillars for the ceilings in each room. But rocks alone aren't enough. Luckily, I remembered those thick wooden logs I brought in earlier. I can use those too. With logs and rock pillars, the ceilings won't collapse so easily. At the same time, I have to prepare for the worst. If the main cave does collapse, I'll have to leave. My grandpa's old house is not an option. It's an old wooden building. It would never survive a quake like that. Besides, it's crawling with zombies. That leaves only one place, Leo's base. Spark Base. I saved his life. It's not too much to ask for shelter in return. He told me they're self-sufficient, with lots of survivors. Scavenging and farming. If I have to, I can take my supplies and join them. It's a solid plan B. With that decided, I picked up the sat phone and called him.
Hey, what's up?
Leo, if one day I can't stay in this cave anymore, can I come to your base?
Ahsoka? Is something wrong? Did something happen?
No, nothing. But I think an earthquake might happen soon. A big one. You guys should take precautions. I hung up. I know Leo. He's a cautious guy. He'll take my warning seriously. No time to waste. I got the pallet jack and started moving rocks, building stone pillars in every room. Then, I braced the storage room walls with the wooden logs. After a full day of work, I was completely exhausted. I crashed on the bed and fell right asleep. The next morning, I was jolted awake by thunder. I ran to the peephole. It was pouring, the rain. It's exactly like my dream. I scrambled. I had to move my most important supplies into the storage room. Now, my chickens. They're my most valuable renewable resource. They have to be safe. Then the planter boxes, the freezers, my bed, everything. I left the hydro generators. They're too heavy, and I have brand new ones still in their boxes in the storage room. 4 days later at noon, the rain stopped. This wasn't a good sign. I immediately grabbed the sat phone and ran back into the storage room, sealing myself in. And just like the dream, the ground started to shake. I hid on my bed, closed my eyes, helpless, listening to the sound of the mountain tearing itself apart around me. After one last violent aftershock, it finally stopped. I was alive. I looked around. The storage room, just like the dream. A few new cracks in the wall, but it held. It was safe. I wanted to check the other rooms. The passage to the living room, it was completely blocked, a wall of fallen rock. I grabbed my shovel, managed to dig a small opening, and crawled through. I was stunned. Even with all my preparations, all the supports I built, it wasn't enough. The living room, the ceiling was gone. Just gone. It was completely open to the sky. I checked the garden and my bedroom, the same. Boulders and rubble everywhere. And the underground river, my water source, was completely buried. Defeated, I walked back to the storage room. Even though I had prepared for the worst, seeing my home destroyed, it still hurt. I took a deep breath,
and dialed Leo's number. I looked back at the cave one last time. It was filled with so many memories, and now it was filled with rocks. My secret shelter was gone. But maybe joining a base wouldn't be so bad. Moving all my supplies to the cave took me 8 sleepless days and nights. But now, with Leo's team helping, we loaded everything into the trucks in just half a day. To avoid any more zombie attacks, we left immediately. 3 trucks, driving through the pouring rain, leaving the village, leaving the mountains, and heading towards Spark Base. We arrived the next morning. The trucks drove into a massive air raid shelter. The inside was incredible. Complex, fortified, and busy. People were everywhere, working, moving supplies. It was so alive.
All right, team. Help Ahsoka get her stuff unloaded. Find a secure spot for it. Ahsoka, you look exhausted. Let me show you to your room first.
He led me to a small room. It was simple, but clean, and it had a real bed.
It's not much, but I had them clean it up for you. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Leo, thank you. Seriously.
Don't mention it. Get some rest. I'll come back later to give you the tour.
That evening, Leo showed me around. Spark Base was impressive. They had a fully functioning infirmary, a cafeteria, living quarters, even a small supermarket. Under Leo's management, everything was organized. They had farming zones growing rice, vegetables, even fruit. And they had a research lab. Just as he was walking me back, a man ran up to us and whispered something in Leo's ear. His face instantly got serious.
What's wrong? Is there anything I can do to help?
Leo hesitated.
Ahsoka, I was going to wait until we had concrete results to tell you this, but remember the vaccine I told you about? The one our scientists were working on?
Yeah? Did they make a breakthrough?
Yes, but there's a catch. They've been testing it on infected animal blood. But to finalize it, to prove it works on humans, they need blood from someone who has natural antibodies. An immune person.
An immune person?
Exactly. If the antibodies from the vaccine match the natural antibodies, then we've done it. We have a cure. Actually, my recon team encountered a pair of siblings a while back. The little girl, she had been bitten, but she didn't turn. She has the antibodies, but they refused to come with us.
Siblings? A girl who was bitten but didn't turn? Why does that sound so familiar? Do you have a photo of them?
No photos. But every team leader carries a body cam for mission records. We might have footage.
He pulled a small device from his pocket and handed it to me. I pressed play. The timestamp was from months ago. My eyes went wide. On the small screen were 2 faces I knew. It was the brother and sister I helped on the road, the ones I gave medicine to. It's them. I stared at the screen. I couldn't believe it. The immune girl Leo was talking about was the same girl I helped on the road 2 years ago. Back then, I saw the bite mark on her arm. It was old, healed, and she hadn't turned. I knew she was special. I gave them medicine, food, and warned them to hide. I turned to Leo.
Leo, I know them, and I know where they might be.
I told him everything. How I met them, how I helped them, and where I told them to hide.
You told them to go to the abandoned factory district in the east, right? That's a high-risk zone now. But if they listen to you, they might still be alive. We have to go, now!
The next morning, we rolled out. This wasn't a supply run. This was a rescue mission. We took the armored vehicles. The East District was crawling with zombies. We had to fight our way through. Finally, we reached an old, rusted warehouse. It looked abandoned, but the main door was reinforced.
Jason, are you in there? It's Leo.
The door creaked open, just a crack. A teenage boy peered out. He looked defensive.
I told you, we're not going to your base. Leave us alone.
Just then, a little girl peeked out from behind him. She looked at me. Her eyes went wide.
Sister?
The boy froze. He followed her gaze and saw me standing there.
Sister, it's really you. You're still alive.
I am. And I'm here to help you again.
The boy hesitated. looking between me and Leo.
Listen to me. This base, it's safe. Leo is a good man. And your sister? She holds the key to saving everyone. Please, trust me one last time.
He looked at me for a long moment.
Okay, if it's you, sister, I believe you. Without your medicine back then, we would have died. We'll go.
3 days later, they were settled in the base. The scientists carefully took a small blood sample from the little girl. The tension in the lab was suffocating. We all waited. Then, the lead scientist burst out, holding a piece of paper, tears in his eyes.
It matches. The antibodies, they match perfectly. We can do it. We can mass produce the vaccine.
Leo immediately contacted the other 5 major survivor bases. The vaccine mass production plan was a go. 3 months later, the first batch of vaccines was rolled out. It wasn't just a preventative anymore. It was a shield. Humanity finally had a weapon. We started clearing the cities, block by block, reclaiming our homes. It's going to take time, maybe years, but the fear, the hopelessness, it's gone. I looked out the window. The sky was blue. The streets were quiet, but safe. The nightmare is finally over. We survived.